Okay, sounds good.
Hello, everybody. This is Scott Dudley from Funnel Fella Radio, and today my special guests are Cameron O'Brien and Kacy Singh, who are based in British Columbia in Canada, and they're the founders of an agency called Pure Forward. Kacy and Cameron, welcome to the show. Are you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, thanks Scott for having us on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. Let's get stuck into it. So let's start off by going back to the beginning and talk a little bit about your background and how you first got into marketing and funnels in the first place.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, so it was an interesting transition, and it all, a blessing in disguise, all thanks to the events that are happening in the world right now with COVID and everything else. Originally we were running a photography company.
Yeah.
And it was a really exciting thing, and it's something. It's actually how we met was through photography. So
like 3-4 years ago.
3-4 years ago, and so we were running this company, and then all of a sudden, no one wanted to meet for an in-person photo shoot. And I'll tell you, Zoom photo shoots just weren't working well for us.
No, it's an industry that definitely.
Yeah. So then we pivoted and started. We'd always have a love for marketing. It was probably one of the most exciting parts of running our own business.
We kept learning and understanding how to use it for our own business, but we never thought that we'd actually be offering those services to someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then that's what we decided. We said, okay, well, this is the part of the business that we love. Let's focus on doing this for other businesses and helping them during this, unprecedented, unexpected time, so that they can continue to thrive and survive and beyond this pandemic, so to speak.
And what's really neat is, like, in terms of just like getting started in marketing, it wasn't just when COVID hit. It was like for example, for the last like 10 years or so, I've been like learning how to build WordPress sites and kind of doing this on my own, copywriting, so freelancing. Like last year we traveled to California, Mexico. We spent like 6-7 months, and we were just freelancing because one of our goals a couple of years ago was, how can we travel the world and make money at the same time? Like, how can we do this? How are people doing this? And so we basically just started freelancing. Cam did a lot of like logos, digital marketing, stuff like that. And just like, we started diving deeper into that world. And it was only when with COVID, it was like the opportunity was like crystal clear. It was just like, okay, this is what we can do. Let's just do it. And so we bought like this online course that essentially was teaching us some basics of like setting up an agency, not so much just being a freelancer. So we just did it, we transitioned, and within like a month or two, we had like almost like 10 clients. It was pretty awesome. So we weren't totally beginners, but it was like we were in a beginner mindset around our agency.
Yeah,
so it was pretty neat.
It was the first time we kind of pivoted from here's our freelance projects, and okay, so let's do an agency that focuses on one thing and build that out as a sustainable business.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So like COVID was like the perfect time to actually launch it properly then. That was like the catalyst for it.
Yeah.
We suddenly had all day, every day to work on our business, and it was a blessing in disguise for sure.
Yeah, and we weren't like, just to be completely authentic, we weren't like having a lot of income come in because we were still trying to run our photography business, but at the same time, it obviously wasn't working. And so we were able to apply for like the government grants, like that helped funding and stuff. So we took that money and we used it towards like our course and our business, and like we literally leveraged it. We didn't spend it on other things. I think just rent and food and like our business.
Yeah.
And it was pretty tight, but we were like, you know what, we're committed to this.
Yeah.
After this over, or like in 6 months, like where do we want to be? Do we want to have just eaten up all this money on stuff that feels good right now, or do we want to invest in ourselves and have it be something that's like going to make a difference?
Yeah, so pretty much you had to make it work, didn't you? There's a bit of pressure on.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Which built under pressure.
Yes.
Yeah, which can put you out of your comfort zone, but it also drives you and pushes you to actually achieve the goal. So I guess it's good and bad in some ways.
For sure.
Yeah, and like it was great. And the thing is, Scott, like we just love working together and creating together and obviously living together in our life, right? So it's like when we had the ability to create this together, it's like it's so powerful and magical. And even though there is a so-called shit sandwich that we're eating that's like dealing with whatever there is to deal with.
Yeah.
We're able to do it together, which is so powerful.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So tell me a little bit about your agency, Pure Forward, the conversion funnels you build, and sort of how the two of you work together in sync and how it all sort of works.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great question. So the conversion funnels that we focus on mainly are application funnels for brick and mortar, but also just the kind of local business professional services. So up until now, I've been very much the technical side of things and the design side of things, building up the funnels, as well as making sure they look good, but also, look bad enough to convert, as I like to say. And then, and Kacy is really our copy queen, so to speak, and
So
integrations.
I just have a knack with like language and like anything from the communication side of things with clients, organizing the project, being like, okay, what do we need to do and by when do we need to accomplish it? So managing the product, being like, hey Cam, we need to get this done. And telling clients, yeah, building funnels is easy. And Cam's like, oh my God.
Yeah. And that's the thing. As part of the learning process, there's been a few instances where Kacy has said, "Yeah, we can get that to you later today," and I'm like, "No, not later today."
And he's like, "Yeah, the copy should take. It's so easy," and I'm like, "Dude, this is gonna take me like a couple days. I need to think about it." And he's like, "But you're so good at it." So it's just like knowing what their strengths are. We're able to support each other and have fun. But also like have a clear role as to what we're doing.
For sure. Well, and to the question of, kind of what are we doing in for the conversion funnels and as we're kind of working through this, what we discovered is that moving through this space of building a business and going from, having no clients to suddenly having 10 clients all very quick, we learned that if we're doing all of the operational tasks, it gets very difficult to maintain that level of business.
So it's exciting.
Oh yeah, it's exciting.
We're like, cha-ching, next sale. This is so awesome.
Entrepreneurs working 8 hours a week.
Yeah. And then it turns out like before when we were living in Toronto, right now we're living in British Columbia in this like cute little cabin off grid. So we're doing a lot of like off-grid living and harvesting fruit and all that good stuff, but like we're also building our business part-time. So before we were living during COVID in a condo by the lake in Toronto. We had no other responsibilities other than building our business, and it was easily like 70-hour weeks because we're just so busy. Like it was like we'd wake up, have a call to stumble onto because we were so tired from the night before, wake up, didn't have time to do anything, go on the call, do the things for the day, other calls, project, find time to eat. And it was just like so like ridiculous. I was like, how did it get to this point? But we're grateful that it happened fast enough that it wasn't like years that we had to get to that point. It was very like clear.
Yeah, makes sense. So that sort of leads perfectly into the next question, was sort of including yourselves. How many team members have you got? So I guess you outsource a lot of this stuff now.
Well, yeah.
We're getting there.
So that's what we're doing. We're kind of figuring out exactly who the best people to partner with are. Yeah. But I would say in terms of full-time staff, you're looking at them right now. So.
Yeah. So we have to kind of answer that question. So we have a lot of projects that we're finishing up that we took on previously that will help us generate cash flow, but we didn't have the cash flow right away to hire someone as soon as we learned about like this new model about hiring people and stuff in our mind. So right now we're just working on finishing those projects, while at the same time any new projects we take on is going to be from the mindset of, okay, well, this project we're not going to be focusing on the actual deliverability, we're going to hire people. So we're in this like transition space.
Yeah, well, really, that's the only way to scale too, isn't it? I mean, you've just got to get other people to do the day-to-day sort of work. Otherwise, you're stuck at a certain income ceiling.
Totally. And it's such a mindset like we're learning. I mean, I've been reading all these books, and I know so is Cam, and it talks about, 8-hour work weeks and this and that and leveraging, but you don't really like know what that truly means until you're in it.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I actually need to do this. It's not just a fancy concept anymore of like hiring people and like knowing the right way to do it. So we're not spending, 20 hours over a week training these people. It's like
Yeah.
in their professional experience. So it's new to us, and we're excited.
Cool. Okay. So who's your ideal customer niche or target market for what you're doing at the moment?
That would be professional services. So right now we're doing some niche validation tests for divorce lawyers, specifically for men. We're also looking at insolvency and bankruptcy attorneys, as well as funeral home directors. We have a little bit of experience in that particular niche, but yeah. So we're excited to join up and partner with people that offer professional services and also work within a realm of high price services, and they understand that there's value in those services, and we're really grateful for that opportunity to niche down and get specific and get excited about the boring and repeatable tasks that those are.
Yeah, we noticed working with some health and wellness professionals, because we had like friends that were in the industry, and that's how we got started. And then through referrals, we got more of those, which is fine. But it was just like a different mentality, and a different mind as to how much they were willing to invest and what they were actually looking for. So it just wasn't clear as to how we could like help them get to where they wanted to get to without like within their budget. It was just like, okay, you want these things, but this is what's possible right now with what you're putting in.
Yeah.
So
realistic. Yes.
Realistically, right? It's like figuring out how to serve them in the ways they can afford and in their reality. But at the same time, knowing our own value and saying we can be doing so much more with the skills that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like all those memes on the internet about client budget versus client expectation.
Yeah, we saw one the other day. It was
it was a big chandelier, and his client expectation and client budget was 2 light bulbs hanging on a clothes hanger. So
and then there was another one I really loved. It was from Avengers.
Yeah, Marvel's Avengers. It was client expectation was Thanos gauntlet
with like the diamonds,
and then client budget was a rubber glove with candy stuck on it.
With like gummy. So we were like, "Oh my god, that's so true."
Yeah, I can absolutely relate to that. So by the sounds of things, you're pretty much offering sort of the full service here, sort of the funnels, the copy, the optimization, the traffic. So is it pretty much the whole thing from like end to end?
Yeah, what we're looking at is offering that full service in kind of a period of about 90 days, looking about the first 30 to 45 for the build out, depending on client feedback, as well as when they get the videos done and all that stuff, coordination with copy. And then for the remaining time, it's looking at we're covering some paid traffic to help get them ROI positive, and then building an ongoing relationship beyond.
And then like a retainer. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So the optimization would be the main, and the traffic, I guess that's the main part of the retainer, isn't it? Yeah. Ongoing. Yeah.
Ongoing. Yeah. Got it.
And we'll talk funnel optimization and tweaking and split testing and all that.
Make it sound awesome, because it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're never going to get it right the first time, are you? It takes like time to evolve and see what works, what doesn't work, and then continually just tweak it based on what the data, as you probably pronounce it, is telling you.
Data. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Tomato.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So tell us about one of your most successful marketing campaigns and why you believed it performed so well.
For sure. So I'll take this one. I would refer to one of our naturopathic doctor clients, and it was actually this successful campaign was actually one of the defining moments that opened us up to the realization that we could find a niche that was better suited to our skill set and to what we're offering. So it was an opportunity for this particular doctor to transition from a physical practice to offering an online program. So it was an exciting opportunity because we've been working on them with application funnels, and then and then there were more restrictions on their practices, and they realized, let's pivot it to an online program. So that's what we did. And we, we had paid traffic, organic traffic, email lists, everything going. And we got a lot of people attending. We called it a master class. And then we had some of those people from the master class enroll in the online course. And I think the first day we got she had a capacity of 20, and it was a relatively small attendance. I think 40 to 50 people attended the masterclass, and 10 people signed up for the program, which was
great.
Great. And it was the program was a couple $1,000s, and it was fantastic. So she was ROI positive, and then we continued through email follow-up campaigns and filled up the rest of the 20 spots. So, or I think we ended up getting to 15 or 16. So for us, for the first time running that campaign, to get our ROI positive, was for us incredibly successful. But after having a conversation, well, we had ongoing conversations about how we thought it was going, but we determined afterwards that the client we were working with did not see that as successful, and it wasn't even that they wanted the program to be filled. So when it comes to the naturopathic industry, or at least the clients we've worked with, the degree of variation in the value of their clients. So they had this idea that they're going to run them through this online program, educate them about, their kind of natural health, all this stuff, and then upsell them on naturopathic services. So what they were saying is a client who's coming in for naturopathic services can spend anywhere in a period of a year between $300 or $8,000. Okay. And they had no structure or ability to predict, who those clients would be. And we kind of said, well, if you work with us, we'll show you how to predict that. But so we would get 16 leads in, and we were valuing them at $2,000 or $3,000, and they were valuing them at $300 a piece. So there was a miscommunication there around what the value of a client was, but also that they really didn't know what the value of the client was, and they were just looking at the lowest possible value as their ROI positive point. And it was just there was a lot of how could I describe it? I don't want to use the word poverty consciousness, but there was a lot of pinching for pennies, and a lot and not a lot of training around wealth mindset or around even just the value in paying for professional services. And I'm going to say not all, just the clients that we had an experience with. So it kind of opened our eyes. Okay, well, let's pivot into a niche that we have experience working with, we have experience personally with, where we can offer professional services to professionals who understand that value and see that value, and also have a more consistent customer value, so that we can help them get ROI positive to a point that we both agree on.
So that would have been a fascinating experience from your point of view, wouldn't it?
Oh, totally. Yeah, we got the results. We're like, this is amazing. Yeah. You have people, you have leads, you have real people paying you real money for your service. And it was just like a interesting case.
Is that something that you can obviously replicate with future customers as well? You've sort of got a blueprint to go off, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right. So, sorry, go on. Sorry.
No, I was just saying it's very exciting for us to know that we're capable of doing that and showing those results.
Yeah, it gives you the belief. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what are your favorite online tools and platforms that you use to run your business?
Ooh, ClickFunnels, number one.
Yeah.
ActiveCampaign. Like I said earlier, I manage a lot of like the projects and dates and all that stuff. So Asana, it's like a project management. So we use that. Slack, obviously we use Slack with some of our clients as well to have ongoing communication. Anything else you can think
of? Zoom, of course. We've been dabbling in Google Meet, but we found it's just not as
robust.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah. And then just a note on ClickFunnels. We both have a background in WordPress development. We've used other services to build websites and landing pages, and when we found ClickFunnels, it was an interesting time. It was back when we were living in Toronto, and we ended up spending our rent money on a large ClickFunnels program that got us a 6-month membership, as well as all the education. And it was an incredible investment. We're still using that right now, and it was absolutely fantastic, worthwhile. And then a matter of days later, using the software services, we made that money back from a client, pay our rent. So
Yeah.
so it was one of those, you know, take a leap of faith. But I can't speak highly enough of ClickFunnels itself, mostly for the community and the education, but also for the tools and software. So,
And then Funnel Scripts is pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
By Jim Edwards. So it's for basically like writing copy quicker.
Yeah.
It's not like it does everything for you. You still need to obviously use common sense and go in and tweak it and make it look awesome.
That's
But
true.
as someone with a copywriting background, I'm like, oh my God, like it just takes out so much of the work of creating the bone.
Makes things a lot quicker and easier. Yes, I agree with you.
You just get like creative inspiration much faster. So you're not staring at like a blank screen. Instead, you're spending time putting in the data into the fields, and then it gives you something that you can actually like mold, because it's better than having nothing.
Yeah, well, for me, I mean, I used to write copy as a full-time job before I was, you know, doing what I'm doing now. And the hardest thing for me was coming up with the original, like the first part of it. Like my skill set with copy is like polishing it and improving it. But the hardest part for me was always getting something on the actual page. So what you're saying is it sort of takes away that anxiety.
Totally. You have something, and then maybe you're like, actually, that's not the direction I want to go. I want to go this direction, but at least you have a perspective at that point rather than just a blank screen.
Yeah, I agree totally. Yeah. All right. So what are some of the biggest and most common mistakes that you see your clients making?
Oh, okay. We talked about this last night. We were
Yeah.
having fun with it because we're like, they just don't know what they don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the first ones would be when you hire a marketing team, listen to them.
Yeah, because they're experts.
Like essentially clients trying to do it their own way.
Yeah.
They've been money, and then at the same time they're like, oh, but what about this and what about that? And it's just like, okay, let's just
I'll cite two specific instances.
Yeah.
There was one instance where we were building them out a funnel, ClickFunnels, and setting up their ads on Facebook, because that's the proposal that we had laid out, the plan that we had laid out, the structure, and you know, and it was going well. And then they said, "Hey guys, I just found this new platform online that I think we should switch to." And it was some platform that was really promoted by affiliates at the time, and we were just like
$3,000 for like,
and we're like, we're not gonna just switch to another software. It's just, let's just continue where we're at. You know, proof success in the area that's proven, and then later when you're profitable, if you want to switch to a new service, you know, go for it. So it's kind of that I mean, I appreciate the eagerness. And then the other instance would be a client comes to us. He says, okay, so for this particular ad that we're running, for the type of clients, the high quality leads that I want to come in, who are going to be, you know, return customers. And we said, well, based on our experience, you're going to want to look at running to start out with about $1,000 a month in ads to get those high quality leads coming in, and then we're going to work with you to do a follow-up procedure and closure procedure to you know, bring those on. So they're like, okay, so they're like, well, what if we just started with $150 a month, and then if it goes well, we'll go up from there. And we're like, okay, well, for $150 a month in the auction bid system, you're not going to get good leads. So we're just letting you know
it's not going to get better.
Yeah,
so
it's
you're
not going to get better.
Like, see the results to say, yeah, let's spend more money.
Yeah, and those are just two instances of, you know, I think that what we're excited about for clients in the future and clients that we're bringing on now are that they know that they're not marketers. They don't want to be marketers, and they're not interested in learning how to market. So they're professionals. They're excellent at what they do, and they're looking to bring someone on who they can just say, I trust you. I need you to do this for me. You know, communicate with me through the process, but you know, I leave it to you, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and another, I can just think of a couple more mistakes or just opportunities for growth. It's like shiny object syndrome, similar to what Cam talked about. It's like there's so many ideas and so many things, and even like on a personal level, I was having a conversation with my uncle the other day. He runs a aviation company out in Texas, and basically he knows I'm in marketing, so we were just having a conversation around it, and he's like, man, I just spent like 5 years paying some guy like $3,000 a month for SEO. And every single month or every single couple months, he's telling me, oh, it's going to get better. Give it time, give it time. And then 5 years go by. Like, I have no idea what he's been doing. I have no results. So it's like,
And now he goes and learns SEO himself, goes into the back end of the site, and turns out the guy wasn't even doing anything.
right. So it's like a common mistake is like on what Cam said. It's like, yes, finding a marketing team that you trust and then letting go and letting God take care of it,
Right.
and trusting your team.
And still being in communication.
But still being communication and still having like your common sense of like, okay, is this person actually showing me results? Can I check in constantly? Do I need reports? Like them being educated enough to know like how to feel into somebody and see if they're actually authentic or not.
Well,
So,
it's
yeah.
a great example we had a proposal call with a client who really wanted to work with us, but it wasn't a good fit, so we didn't take them on.
No.
It was a great opportunity to say no, but
Yeah.
they said on the phone, they said, if you tell me that you'll make me $500,000, I'll give you $50,000 right now.
We're like,
and then she's like, and the last marketing team I work with did exactly that, but they didn't get me any results. I'm like, why are you telling people you're going to give them $50,000 if they can just make a promise to you? Like, just
so don't be so open about, or don't be desperate. That's the thing. Your business may be going down a path where you need support and need marketing, but like in a sense, keep your cards close to your heart, because there are times when you'll have the opportunity to express, but in your first call, don't just tell the marketer or whatever, yeah, I'll give you this much money if you can show me these results. Because like people who are like really clear about what they're doing, they may just say, you know what, I can't overpromise those results to you right now without more data. I can't say yes.
Yeah.
But someone who's like, yeah, totally, we'll just take like an advantage of that, and then there you go. 5 years later, you're paying $3,000 a month with no results.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
So in terms of client mistakes we've observed, which are just a couple here and there, those are the highlights for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are the biggest challenge that you consistently have to face while running your agency, sort of other than the things that we've just discussed?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay, so I would say we each have our own biggest challenge,
go first.
And then perhaps one together. So my biggest challenge that I'm overcoming every single day is when we're on a call with a client and we've agreed to a particular project. I have in the past had a tendency to say every possible idea that pops into my head during the call around what could be possible around marketing, just because I'm so excited about it. So for me, the biggest challenge that I've had to face is just reel it in and just focus on the project. And if I have creative ideas just while I'm on a call, write them down because I'll use them for another project. But seeing it from the client perspective, for them, it's overwhelming. It feels like we're not consistent on what the projects that we're working on. So for me, the biggest challenge has been, really just dialing in that focus, stepping away from the calls from an operational standpoint and just really using them as an opportunity to check in with the client, see how they're doing, update them on the progress, and just keep it really simple.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then for me, one of the biggest challenges has been, so like we recently, like I said earlier, we used to live in Toronto. We'd work all these hours on our business and complete all these projects relatively fast because we had all this time. And not saying it was healthy use of time, but it was like we had the time, we finished the projects, boom. Whereas now, so we're actually in British Columbia. We drove like 50, 60 hours from Toronto. We're like, we need to get out of the city. So we came here and now we're staying on this property and we're living off grid in this cabin. And so we have like responsibilities during the day that we're doing. We're helping with like the land. Like I said, we're doing other things than just our business.
Yeah, we're living with friends and they're not charging us any rent, but we're just kind of helping out with the property while we're here.
So we have like a work shift that we're like contributing, and it's like great stuff. We're learning so much and being hands-on and really learning how to live a healthy life. So it's like we're learning that, but then the time before and after is time for agency work and building our business. So what I've found is my biggest challenge is just like not feeling anxious about like how little we're doing or how like our progress. Because I just in the beginning I was like super concerned because we went from working, I mean, even psychologically, it was like full time to now like evenings and weekends and mornings. And it was just like, oh my God, are we gonna reach our goals? How are we gonna finish client projects? What about deliverables? There was all this like anxiety going on that
Yeah.
I wasn't able to fully focus on like my life, like my
Yeah.
present moment. It was like, yeah, and it had a lot to do with like fear of failure, not being liked, you know, all these things that were showing up that were like these negative beliefs. So it's been almost like a month or two that we've been here. So it's like had time to adjust to a new schedule. I work really well in like routine and like structure. So just having a life where there wasn't much initially, like when we showed up, grasping for and like being comfortable in the chaos and the unknown. So it was just like I asked for this, we created this, so obviously we're being with it and loving the experience, but it was just very challenging to have that feeling.
Okay. And was there one more that you both had together, or was that it?
Yeah, I think we talked about it earlier, but it was like the challenge of working on our business and not in our business.
Ah, yes, yeah. That's a common one.
Yeah,
for sure.
as what we're learning about, like, okay, if we're going to do all this work and deliver everything, we're working in our business. So how do we find time to, even though with the limited time we have, it's like projects, but also education, learning how to hire people, like all these other things.
Well, exactly. And my personal challenge ties into that as well. So, you know, when we're on a call with a new client that we're selling us a repeatable service to that someone else can do, just kind of biting my tongue and not being like, oh, you could do this. And then suddenly I'm the project.
Right.
You know, like,
yeah.
So it's keeping that in, getting that already with the basic service that we're offering. It's basic for me, but for them it's extraordinary.
Yes.
And just getting that perspective.
And it also ties in with my challenge, because if I'm like able to delegate and know that things are happening even though I'm not doing them, it alleviates this feeling of like, well, I have to do it all, and like the anxiety that comes with not, you know, quote unquote having the time to do it. So it's just like we're transitioning into this new world where like all these challenges are so apparent that like something needs to be done, and we're taking the steps every day to work on those.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so with an eye to the future, what are you curious about or researching right now regarding funnels and digital marketing in general?
Yeah.
Well, I think for the first time in a long time, because up until now, we've really just been researching and learning marketing techniques and funnel optimization and all like the things like the daily tasks
funnel
in
builders,
the business.
Yeah.
But for the first time, we're getting really excited about growing our business and working on our business. So when Kacy and I first met, we actually ran a brick and mortar business. It was a spa / yoga studio. It was a very interesting experience. We made in our first year in business, we made over $250,000 in revenue. But it was a brick and mortar business. It was a huge space. We didn't know exactly what we were doing, and it turns out that after making that much in that first year, we had to declare bankruptcy.
We were like losing money.
Yeah.
And it like, yeah.
So to really look at those numbers, have that experience in our life, and get, okay, so we actually, at the time, we had no idea how to run a business. No idea. Fiscally or operationally, we just had no idea. So kind of looking back at that experience, being grateful for it, knowing that experience allowed us to learn what we have in our experience and what we can use today, where we're like, wow, okay, so we're in this operational place where we're doing the day-to-day stuff for our clients, and now we have this opportunity, and honestly, it's surprising to me to feel this excitement about working on a business and growing the agency side of things, and looking at, okay, who can we place into these boxes to do things for our team, and having like learning what an integrator is, that there's someone that brings all the people together in the team and does all the management, so we don't have to do it. Like, just learning all these exciting opportunities for how can our business grow, become more efficient, more fiscally sound and profitable, so that we can help more clients consistently rather than just a few scattered here and there, and
Mm.
having to say no to people because we can't operationally take on any more clients. So that's something that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, learning how to like have it become like this like line. It's like we do one funnel for one client and it's like super duplicatable. Like it's just consistent.
Mhm.
So that like really excites us. And our coach said to us, he was like, boring is okay. Like it's really okay to have it be boring and to be consistent and to know how much money you're gonna make. Because we've
Yeah.
been like, yeah, these ideas are amazing and creative and this, which is fantastic, but there's a time and a place for that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, so really being grounded and firm in like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're scaling our agency.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
So it's
and
pretty exciting.
and the just one last thing, the quote that is coming to mind is you can always tell who the pioneers are because they're lying face down in the dirt with arrows in their back.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's all this opportunity out there to try new things,
Yeah.
but there's also opportunity to do things that are proven to work, that have repeatable success, and you can deliver those success to people who right now really need it, and that's what we're excited about.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're not reinventing the wheel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So who are your marketing idols or the biggest influences on your career?
Definitely number one would be Russell Brunson.
Yeah.
Like just so incredible. And along with ClickFunnels, right? Because he created it. I just think the education, like doing a pull down.com secret.
Yeah, we got
we got our
box set here.
Oh, you got one too. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think the content is so amazing. Yeah. And it has me like so excited to learn about marketing, like to dive deeper and like really get connected, not from a technological standpoint, but from a standpoint of like actually understanding the concepts and like being able to apply them to real world situations. So definitely Russell Brunson.
Yeah, and something I would say about that is I love that the personal brand he's created is like a teenager who's excited about marketing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
He's
persona
like, yeah.
that he is. So I connect to that.
It's
And,
like reading comics.
Even though he's 40 years old, he sort of does market it like a 13-year-old. You're right. Yeah.
And even like the stick figure drawings, it just makes it so easy for like our subconscious mind to be like, it's okay, we can totally learn this. This is easy. Yeah.
The other thing too is that he's got his own style. It's not like he's copied anyone. It's his own, original style. And so it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's done an incredible thing leveraging the 2 Comma Club award, like the Oscars for business, and it's just it's great. They've done some great things, so that's really amazing. In terms of other people in the marketing world that we're looking to, definitely Tony Robbins, not necessarily for the person that he is today, but for his journey and the underdog that he started as.
Okay.
It's beautiful to see stories like that, where you have someone that starts from the proverbial nothing and then kind of grows to something incredible. Is there anyone else in the marketing world that you would say?
I mean, like there's a lot of people in our mastermind, like in Fast Track, that I'm like, that's so amazing. Like their agency and they're making this much money and they're like reaching back and helping us. Like one of like, I think for us, like our coach, like Kevin Beef Tank, like he's amazing. And just has so much heart into what he does. And like he runs his agency full time and does all that stuff, but then has the time to be like one-on-one with us, goes above and beyond. Like we have boot camps with him. They're scheduled for an hour. And like, like last week, it was like 2.5 hours of just, extra time. And it was like, he's just super amazing. And one of the quotes is, he's like, grinding sucks until it doesn't. And so
Yeah.
very helpful. So we're like, okay.
And then another person that isn't necessarily in the public eye, but Daryl.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so Daryl was our onboarding specialist with the Fast Track Mastermind, and
Okay.
it was just amazing to actually through this whole process, and even with you, just kind of meeting these incredible, powerful, heart-centered, focused men that are doing these incredible things in their life and are able to hold space and create with other people.
Yeah,
it's just amazing to see. And and who knew that it would be the marketing world where we'd find these people and connect with these people. And then the last person that we would say has had an influence on our life, not necessarily in the marketing world, but there's a gentleman named Paramahansa Yogananda, and he's the author of a book called Autobiography of a Yogi. And for us, it started our spiritual journey, where we ended up living in a spiritual community in the mountains of California for about 3 months, and it was an incredible experience. And it allowed us to develop the focus and the peace of mind and the clarity around what we want to create in this world. And so we definitely attribute a lot of the inner success and the inner consistency and ability to create to Paramahansa Yogananda and the book Autobiography of a Yogi.
Nice, cool. All right, so just to wrap up, where can people go to find out more about your services and or your products?
Yeah, they can go to pureforward.com.
And if they're not a professional service agency looking to hire us and they just want to connect, you can just email us. The email is chat@pureforward.com.
Excellent, cool. All right, so thanks a lot for your time, Cameron and Kacy. It was really great to have you on the show. I better let you go so you can build some funnels. And yeah, we'll catch up with you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Okay.